didn't need much more than obviously playing on Saturday and walking down fairways with people and their dogs and everything just on a very casual day. You know, it's a pretty, I mean, obviously it's a home of golf. It's pretty special. You know, obviously I've had a nice run in the majors, but the excitement level this week is obviously off the charts. You know, I've obviously been very close, specifically in the last two majors, but game's in a great place and, you know, in a great headspace. You know, this is a lot of fun. You know, kind of seeing some of the spots from where guys have pulled off amazing shots at this venue, and obviously trying to learn as much of the history that I can of the game. It's pretty incredible.
You've obviously had a nice look at the old course now. Have you started to figure out a game plan for the course?
Yeah, I mean, once you've got it figured out, you don't. You know, we're kind of lucky for us that we have pretty much the same wind, or at least coming from generally the same direction. You know, for our first time, you know, I know that a lot of holes obviously will play different depending on which direction. You know, the front nine, if it was downwind, it would be a completely different golf course. I mean, basically our prep over the last few days would have almost been useless if we had the wind going the other way. And so being able to spend essentially the last 4 days out here, kind of game plan if, you know, the wind's generally coming from either the south to west, has been very helpful, and I've gotten some help from a few local friends. So it's been obviously a treat, but also at the same time, I don't think I've written more in my yardage book over the last 4 days than I think I have in my entire career.
Excellent. Number two, please.
We spoke to you on Friday, I think in Scotland. You mentioned shooting some low scores on Tiger Woods 2005 on the console. How does the real thing compare?
Yeah, it's a little bit firmer. No, it's like I said, there's just so many different ways that you can play holes. You know, in the States, and I guess really just in modern golf courses, parkland courses, you're trying to basically just hit fairways and you're not worrying about angles. This week, there are a few times where you do have to worry about that. There's some spots where missing it in one spot is great for some pins and it's atrocious for other pins. And so being able to figure that out, obviously throughout the week has been a great challenge and has been very interesting. But yeah, going back to Tiger Woods 05, I don't think I'll be shooting 48 this week in 18 holes.
And have you found your way into the Dunvegan yet?
I have. Yeah, I took a picture with Luke and Lucy, and it was a blast. We've been trying to enjoy as much of the town as we can, especially since I had the weekend off last week, and have some fun. And everyone has said that the buzz of the town, that there's just nothing like it, and it just exceeds all expectations. And even that goes to Saturday when the locals were able to walk down fairways with us. You know, you have Augusta National, which is obviously one of the premier, most private places in really the world, and then you come here and I'm walking down fairways with 60 people and their dogs, and I think that's what makes golf so fun. Is it's obviously this week is much more kind of the people's tournament, and obviously Augusta, you're specifically going into the history of Augusta, and I think it's very cool seeing the two opposite sides, and I love them both equally.
Sorry, finally for me, any dog-related mishaps, or were they pretty well behaved?
Very well behaved, yeah. Some of the dogs were sitting up on the tee markers, and I guess some of the locals have trained their dogs to sit right by the tee marker even when they play, which was, I need to start working on Luna, my dog, to start doing that.
Steve.
Just real quick, any other highlights that you saw in the town?
Yeah, Dario took care of us, a Little Italy. You know, we've just been trying to walk around and just enjoy it as much as I can. I mean, you know, walking home from dinner the other night, you know, Mark Calcavecchia was walking by, Mike McCoy, who obviously our Walker Cup captain. That's just what makes this town and obviously this tournament so cool, is you're just running into people, and, you know, it's even though that obviously I'm a long way from home, I feel like I'm kind of around a lot of people that I know.
What was your reaction the first time you got to the 17th tee?
You know, it's amazing how you can really hit a shot left of the Old Course Hotel logo, and if it's cutting, it's in the fairway, and you could also hit one high and about 30 feet right of that logo and still be almost in the exact same spot. It's pretty unique. I love being able to hit that burning cut, so I will never say that hitting over a hotel is an ideal look for me, but that shot actually sets up for me pretty well.
By any chance, have you ever hit over any building like that anywhere else?
So in Dallas, there's a place called the Tribute where they took what they thought were the best 18 holes in Scotland, and they took 1, 18, and 17, and I believe number 11, and put it on the golf course. And so they put up a kind of a shed for the 17th hole, and we would be hitting over the shed. So I would say yes, but no.
In the middle, number 2, please.
Well, obviously you come here to win. Every player comes here to win, but finishing second would give you a unique position that you'd share with a lot of other players. Would you be able to get any pleasure out of finishing second?
You know, I mean, yes and no. I mean, of course I want to win one, but you know, the part that I also have to remind myself is we're sitting here talking about me not winning a major, and I've been on the PGA Tour for 20 months. It's a pretty good spot to be in. And obviously, I don't think I've played double-digit majors yet. So for me, let's just keep growing on this experience. I'm obviously playing some nice golf, and you know, like I've said, and I keep telling myself this is, you know, let that first one get in the way, and it happens to be a major. It happens to be a major.
Number 4, please.
Well, a little bit of a nerdy golf question. Your strokes gained numbers putting in majors is drastically different than your strokes gained putting numbers in regular season tournaments. Just curious if you could explain the difference and why it's so good in the major championships.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it, if you take basically the run from the PGA going forward, from basically that Wednesday night when Josh and I have figured out something, if you really just take that sample size and eliminate the first, I don't know, 6 to 8 months out of the year, I'm doing very nicely on the greens. And, you know, something that if you were to take the strokes gained putting statistics from the events, and it's tough because you also have to measure it up against guys that you don't know their strokes gained statistics, but if you add mine in there, they're 36th this year on tour. And so, you know, like last week, I was kind of laughing when I got done on Thursday, and people were asking me about, man, the wind's brutal on the greens today. You know, we saw you got winded on 13. I said, well, I hit 2 fairways today. So I don't think we need to be talking about the 1 5-footer that I missed because of wind, but, you know, that obviously is something that that's obviously hasn't been the strong suit of my game, but so far how I've performed on the greens since, I would say, since the PGA, we've really taken a leap, and we've added another fundamental to my blueprint and how I putt, and that's why I putted so well since.
In the middle, number 2, please.
Will, are you a golf historian, and can you appreciate the reverence of St Andrews and in particular the Old Course?
Yeah, I mean, you can never know enough. You know, I think that it's something that I know that my dad has already gone into the R&A Museum this week, and he's told me about how incredible it is. You know, I know a lot about the golf course in specific, and obviously the champions that have won here. You know, but when it comes to some of the tournaments, I pretty much know the highlights that have been on Golf Channel come November, December, when they're showing you know, the best of. But I obviously am a student of the game. I love being around a lot of the guys that were from previous eras, like Lanny Watkins, Lee Trevino, you know, Curtis Strange. I mean, Wake Forest, the university I went to, we have a lot of guys that have won majors and have been successful on tour, and being able to pick their brains and tell us stories about how guys played has been a blast. And so, you know, I thought it was pretty amazing this week that the first couple balls that I ever really hit at St. Andrews, Lee Trevino's on the range standing right next to me talking to me. I've known him since I was 14, but that's my introduction to St. Andrews, is sitting there talking to a guy that obviously I've admired for forever.
Great, we'll go back to Steve, please.
Just going back to 17th, did you experience the road hole bunker and the road, and how did it go?
I did. Yeah, I mean, we've been bouncing around all over that green. Obviously, you know, the miss is long left. You know, you can't believe how thin that green really is. I mean, even today in a practice round, I think the pin was like 16 and 7 off the right, and I played 9 holes with Jordan today, and I mean, he hits one that looks like it's going to end up about 10 feet, and it basically kicks off that mound and goes into basically right on the wall. And you just can't believe how thin it is. I mean, obviously in practice rounds, I'm going to give myself a chance to get out of that road hole bunker. I'm obviously not going to be practicing anything off the edges, but obviously stay away.
Do we have any final questions for Will? Oh, yep, just behind you.
On the Mondays after majors, what's your process for processing it?
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I don't sleep that great Sunday nights. Saturdays, I sleep great going into the tournament. You know, Sunday nights in particular, I'm pretty much up till probably 4 or 5. And it's not that I'm, you know, sitting there stewing. It's just trying to come down from the adrenaline. And while I'm playing, I don't feel it. You know, when I was in those last couple holes against Matt, or even in the playoff with Justin, I don't feel that big of an adrenaline push. I mean, obviously I want to win. I'm as focused as I possibly can be, but it's the coming down for me that's hard. Majors feel like 2 weeks just by themselves, but when you're in contention, they feel like they're 3 weeks in themselves. And so it typically takes me to about Wednesday or Thursday before I start feeling normal. And so it's something that we've learned in our schedule, is that I need to take weeks off after majors. And obviously if I've been in contention, it's worn me out pretty hard. But it's, you know, the PGA was a really hard one to swallow because I was that close. Against Matt, he went out and got it. He played some great golf. I have no regrets. You know, I don't ever have regrets walking off a golf course, especially in majors. But when it comes to this past U.S. Open, you know, I mean, like I said in earlier press conferences, was that shot that Matt hitting out of the bunker and making par there was incredible. And I thought I made my putt with 8 feet to go, 6 feet to go, a foot to go, and it just happened to stay out on the left.
So if every kind of person is different, would you say maybe you're not the kind of person who agonizes over coming close?
No, there's a lot of agony on Mondays and Tuesdays. Don't worry. Yeah, that's I think it's if anything, you know, kind of what I said with my first second place finish at the Masters. It was such an incredible experience that it was kind of an arrival. The second one was affirmation, and then the third one really gave me a lot of belief that I can be as good as I want to be. And so, you know, I think that it's a very tough pill to swallow, because I would pay a lot of money for about 1.5 inches in those 3 majors, considering that, you know, I've basically missed out on 3 majors by 3 shots. But, you know, that's what motivates me. It's why I get up early. It's why, you know, I'm even on off weeks, I'm still grinding. And so it's something that has fueled my fire for sure. And I know that eventually I'm going to get one day. I mean, we've been this close, and that's, you know, like I alluded to earlier, is I'm not even at double-digit majors, and we're already talking about me possibly having 4 runner-ups in majors here. You know, I mean, I think I'll take that resume, but obviously I would like to replace some of the silver medals with some gold medals.
Excellent. Well, Will, we really appreciate your time today. We wish you the best of luck at the 150th Open.
Thank you.